Hey everybody, HomeSliceHenry here, and in today's video, we are taking a look at a really cool spice pick in the Halloween Cup, Absol. These battles were submitted by a member of the community, so many thanks for the battle submission. Absol is a pure Dark-type Pokemon and an extreme glass cannon, meaning it is very attack weighted. For the moveset, it is running Psycho Cut with Dark Pulse and Thunder as the charge moves. So without further ado, let's hop into the matches and check out Absol in action in the Halloween Cup. Hopping to the first match, leading Absol into Trevenant. This is a pretty nice lead. With Psycho Cut, Absol is going to be charging up the Dark Pulses fairly quickly, switching and a fantastic catch, able to catch the Seed Bomb from Trevenant onto Golbat. The opponent is going to respond with Azumarill. Azumarill can hit Golbat for super effective with Ice Beam, but Golbat able to hit for super effective in retaliation with the Poison Fangs. Able to grab a shield from Azumarill, and Azumarill is going to be firing off the Ice Beam. Ice Beam does big damage. This Golbat is not Shadow, able to tank the Ice Beam and get to a second Poison Fang. This will do even more damage, and Azu actually commits both shields, a decision I don't necessarily agree with, because giving Absol a shield advantage is a very scary thing. Back in comes Absol. Absol is going to be going for the Thunder. Thunder charging up, going to be doing massive damage, taking out the Azumarill, and the opponent brings in Shadow Crobat. Shadow Crobat not going to be able to farm down. Absol reaches another Thunder. This is going to be one-shotting the Crobat as well. Back in comes Trevenant. In comes Nidoqueen, and that is a good game. Hopping to the next match, leading Absol into Shadow Scizor. Not a great lead, going to be safe switching into Golbat, and the opponent responds with Qwilfish. Qwilfish, if it does have Ice Beam, could be pretty problematic here. Golbat going for the Shadow Ball and able to land it. Qwilfish has farmed up a ton of energy. This very well could be the Ice Beam. Calls it just the Aqua Tail, and the Wing Attack Sneak is able to KO. Back in comes Shadow Scizor. Golbat is going to commit the shield, so they are looking to get some damage off. Farming up to the Shadow Ball, baiting with the Poison Fang, hoping to try and grab a shield, but the opposing Scizor calls it. That is very unfortunate. Going to be going for Poison Fang number 2. This one is able to get the shield. Opponent brings in their final Pokemon, and it is Shadow Nidoqueen. This is a little unfortunate. Going to be bringing in the Absol, farming up, tried to catch the Poison Fang, but not able to do so. That was a very nice attempt. Unfortunately, the opponent did hold on to their energy, shielding up the Earth Power, which is quite nice. Farming up past their own Earth Power and going for the Poison Fang bait here. Absolutely has to get a shield, and does. That is quite nice. And then committing to the Earth Power, so the opponent is forced to throw and can't overfarm too much. Earth Power will take them out. Back in comes Shadow Scizor. Absol overfarming as much as they can. Going for the Dark Pulse. That KOs. Can they outpace Shadow Nidoqueen? Absol able to get to the Dark Pulse. That is going to be taking care of that Shadow Nidoqueen. And that is a good game. Hopping to the next match, leading Absol into Sharpedo. This is an absolutely terrible lead. Going to save switch into Golbat, and the opponent responds with Frostlass. This is a very bad matchup for Golbat, and the opponent switched in fast enough that they're able to reach an Avalanche when Golbat reaches a Shadow Ball. Golbat commits the shield, going for the Avalanche, hoping for the no shield, but the opponent does commit the shield. That is very unfortunate. As Frostlass is able to outpace, they do reach Avalanche before Golbat reaches the Shadow Ball. Golbat instead opts to go for the Poison Fang, but the threat of a Shadow Ball being taken off the table does allow Frostlass to overfarm as they go for the Avalanche to take them out. Back in comes Absol. Absol looking for the farm down, but thanks to that residual energy, they are going to have to commit a shield on the Avalanche. Absol trying for the Psycho Cut down, and they're just able to get it. And the opponent, instead of bringing in Sharpedo, brings in the final mon of Azumarill. Does Azumarill respect the Thunder? They do not. That does big damage. Absol is going to be able to reach the Dark Pulse, and this will be doing quite a lot of resisted damage. Almost taking them out. Absol is able to farm down. In comes Nidoqueen into Sharpedo. These waterfalls are absolutely tearing through Nidoqueen, but the poison jabs are doing work against Sharpedo. Sharpedo throws on 5. I believe this is just the Poison Fang, not the Crunch. It is. Nidoqueen able to farm down, and that is a good game. Hopping to the next match, leading Absol into Drifblim, and this is absolutely where you want to see Drifblim on this team, as Absol is going to charge very quickly and going to be able to reach the Dark Pulse. Dark Pulse would be doing massive damage to Drifblim. Drifblim will commit the shield, and unfortunately they did lag a turn there, which did allow Absol to get an extra Psycho Cut. Absol farming up, opponent tries to catch the Dark Pulse onto Wigglytuff, Absol able to hold on to its energy, and in comes Golbat. Golbat is going to be going for the Poison Fang. That does massive super effective damage and lowers the defense. We'll be able to outpace, but it looks like instead they're going for the one shield farm down. Golbat will be able to farm down after committing that final shield, and they're going to leave with a ton of energy. So if the opponent brings back in the Drifblim, they are going to be in a lot of trouble, and they decide not to. They choose to instead bring in Nidoqueen. Nidoqueen does not want to take Shadow Balls either though. Golbat able to reach a second Shadow Ball, and this should more or less be taken out if they decide not to shield. They let it go down. They are trusting in Drifblim, going to save some energy on Golbat, bring back in the Absol, and grab the final shield with the Dark Pulse. Drifblim is going to need to Icy Wind to take out the Absol, and now it's a bit of a tall task, but Nidoqueen is going to need to try and take out Drifblim. Waiting the switch clock, I very much like that because you're probably going to have to catch an Icy Wind to try and win the match. Drifblim able to reach the first Icy Wind. That does big damage. Nidoqueen is not going to be able to survive the second one. Going for the Poison Fang. It is resisted, but of course will lower the defense. Farming up, opponent tries to catch, reads the catch, farms down with Golbat. Golbat is able to reach the Poison Fang. This is resisted. Is it going to be enough to take out the Drifblim? It's not. One more wing attack does the trick, and that is a good game. Hopping to the next match, picking up a very nice lead, Absol into Haunter. Opponent is going to be safe switching into Beedrill. Hold up, is that an Infestation Beedrill? Oh, this is not good for the opponent, that is, because Golbat is going to absolutely crush this thing. Golbat double resisting the infestations. Opponent goes for the Scizor, also double resisted. Even if they try going for a Drill Run, that's still single resisted. They do, it still does nothing. Golbat is going to be able to farm down and leave with a ton of energy loaded. So the opponent is down on shields, and they don't have switch advantage. They bring in Nidoqueen to soak the damage, but even Nidoqueen cannot take 2 Shadow Balls. I'm not sure about this bait. Baiting with the shield advantage is risky, but able to grab the shield. It ends up working out. Nidoqueen going for a move. Poison Fang will not KO here. Golbat will commit the shield. Go for the bait again, but the opponent catches. That is heartbreaking. Opponent catches onto Haunter. They're going to bring back in Absol. Absol is going to be able to reach the Dark Pulse, which is more than enough to take out the Haunter. The Haunter's also at -1 defense, so it does extra damage. Back in comes Nidoqueen. Nidoqueen going for the Poison Fang. Absol shielding up, trying to finish the match itself. They do get farmed down. Going to bring in Golbat. Golbat farming down, and that is a good game. Picking up a terrible lead in the next match, Absol into Toxicroak, safe switching into Golbat, and the opponent responds with Frostlass. The opponent was slow on the switch. Golbat is going to be able to reach the Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball does get the shield, so Golbat at the very least able to get shield advantage, which is quite nice. This Frostlass is absolutely loaded. Golbat committing the shield, wanting to get off that Poison Fang. I think shield advantage may have served them better. They're actually able to grab a second shield with just a Poison Fang. Opponent must have lost count, so honestly, still able to get shield advantage, so it all ended up working out in the end. Back in comes Absol. Absol, unfortunately, not going to be able to get a lot of farm because this Frostlass has a lot of energy. Going to commit the shield, going to overfarm as much as they can, and now go for the Dark Pulse. They're able to hit for double super effective damage against the Toxicroak, but these counters are going to hurt. Absol trying to get to a move. Toxicroak got nervous and they threw energy. So now it is all up to Nidoqueen to try and clutch this match. Toxicroak is going to be able to reach a Mud Bomb. Mud Bomb does not one-shot, but it will get the Nidoqueen very, very low. Nidoqueen overfarming as much as possible, now going for the Poison Fang. Basically hoping that something in back can be one-shot with an Earth Power. And it's a Drapion. Maybe there's a chance. Nidoqueen is going to be going for the Earth Power here. Is this enough to one-shot? It is not. And Drapion is able to reach a move from a terrible lead, almost able to fight back. And that is a good game. Hopping to the next match, Picking up a terrible lead, Absol into Alolan Ninetales, going to safe switch into Golbat. Alolan Ninetales farms up quite a bit, and they bring in Shadow Nidoqueen. This is not a great response to a Golbat safe switch, so honestly, the opponent appears to be pretty weak to Golbat. And even better, they're going straight Poison Fang, so they do not carry Stone Edge. Able to land the Shadow Ball, and that does big damage. Golbat farming up and going to be going for the Poison Fang. This is not enough to KO, but it will get the Queen very low, able to farm them down, and win switch advantage. The opponent brings in the final Pokemon, and it is Alolan Marowak, another Pokemon that doesn't really like to see a Golbat with energy. Golbat able to grab a shield with a Poison Fang, opponent lost count, and now things are looking good, able to win switch advantage and shield advantage. In comes Absol, and Alolan Marowak has a ton of energy. Going to commit the shield. Nice shield there. Opponent tries to catch the Dark Pulse onto Alolan Ninetales, but able to hold on to the energy and bring in Nidoqueen. Weather Ball would hurt. Going to commit the shield. Nidoqueen farming up a ton, farming up to the back-to-back, and going for the Poison Fang. My guess is the Alolan Ninetales will commit the shield, which they do. Nidoqueen just not able to farm down. That is very rough. Will this KO? It does not. Able to farm down, and Nidoqueen leaves with the Earth Power. This is going to be doing massive, super effective damage. Almost taking out the Marowak, and I believe Absol does have the Dark Pulse loaded. This is a massive amount of overkill onto the Alolan Marowak, and that is a good game. Hopping to the next match, splitting Absol into Golbat. This is a fairly neutral lead overall. Absol is going to be staying in as the Psycho Cuts are hitting for super effective damage, farming up to the Thunder and baiting with the Dark Pulse, hoping to grab the shield and able to get the shield, and now going to safe switch into their own Golbat, and the opponent brings in Frostlass, but they switched in late. Golbat able to outpace, gets to the Shadow Ball, opponent calls the bait, and down goes Frostlass. And their final Pokemon in the back is Nidoqueen. So this is not a good situation to be in if you're the Nidoqueen. Nidoqueen going straight for the Poison Fang, but Golbat is going to be able to reach the Shadow Ball. This will do quite a lot of damage. Nidoqueen actually committing the final shield. And at this point, you just let Golbat go, because you have 2 shields for your remaining Pokemon, so you are in a commanding position to close out this match. Bringing in their own Nidoqueen, they are going to get outpaced here. The opposing Nidoqueen is able to reach the Earth Power, will commit the shield, shields up the Earth Power, going to overfarm, get some extra energy, and going to be able to take out the opposing Nidoqueen. Earth Power does its job. We know there's that Golbat left in the back. Looks like the opponent may have force closed the gap, or they're lagging a bit. Nope, they are back, and the Golbat is throwing energy. Golbat lands the Shadow Ball, and now in comes Absol. Absol will commit the shield on the Poison Fang, just has to get to a charge move. Even a Dark Pulse would KO. Able to reach the Dark Pulse. That is going to be more than enough damage to banish the Golbat, and that is a good game. And hopping to the final match, leading Absol into Azumarill. This is not a great lead. Going to safe switch into Golbat, and Azumarill is actually staying in. This is pretty nice. Golbat is going to be able to fire off the Poison Fang to lower their defense. Poison Fang lands, and Azu is going to fire off the Ice Beam. This will hurt quite a lot. Golbat is able to survive it, but not super well, and the opponent is going to bring in Mandibuzz to look to try and farm down. Able to land the Poison Fang, which is quite nice. Golbat able to reach a second Poison Fang, and this is some valuable damage onto the Mandibuzz and able to lower their defense by a second stage. This is a bit of a tough spot here. Nidoqueen does absorb hits better, but you kind of need the Nidoqueen for the Azu, going to bring in the Nidoqueen to soak some damage. Thankfully, as I mentioned, Mandibuzz is at -2 in terms of defense. Nidoqueen farming up ever so slightly above a Poison Fang, going for the Poison Fang, actually grabs a shield. That is very interesting that Mandibuzz would shield there. Nidoqueen going to commit the shield. Mandibuzz goes for the Shadow Ball. What? Absol is going to be able to Psycho Cut down. Back in comes Azumarill. Do they know? I don't think they know. Taking out the Azumarill, and the Pokemon in the back is Shadow Nidoqueen. Throwing the Dark Pulse. If this is a CMP tie, this is massive. Dark Pulse, and it's CMP. Absolutely perfect. You just let this go. And from here, their Nidoqueen is going to be able to take out the opponents. Absolutely beautifully played. The opponent had to try and farm down. They did not, and that is a good game. All in all, some incredibly fun battles featuring Absol in the Halloween Cup. Absol is exceedingly glassy, which means that in the Standard Great League, it can't really do a whole lot because it just gets outbulked so significantly. But in the Halloween Cup, where the meta is slightly less tanky, it is able to have some fringe play as a spice pick and honestly put in some solid work for this trainer. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't. And a special thank you, as always, to our members here on YouTube. The support you guys provide is absolutely incredible. And a special thank you to everyone who is a part of this community. We recently passed 25,000 subscribers on the channel, a number that honestly, I am completely stunned by. The fact that this channel has been able to grow so much and has succeeded beyond my wildest dreams is the absolute coolest thing ever. So thank you guys oh so very much. And until next time, I've been HomeSliceHenry.